Labdien, ļoti godāti.
Good afternoon, dear media representatives. Welcome to the online press conference following the meeting between the Latvian Foreign Minister Edgars and Péter Szijjártó, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary, and we'll start with the statement of Mr. Rinkēvičs. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today with Péter Szijjártó, the Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister of Hungary, we had a very fruitful meeting and exchange of views on a broad range of issues. We, of course, talked about the work of the European Council, considering that Hungary will soon become the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union. As you know, the Council of the European Union is one of the main bodies or institutions in terms of human rights protection, as well as cooperation for development of democracy. I indicated to my colleague that we would like to have a broad debate in the Council of Ministers on how Russia complies with the judgments of the European Court of Human Rights. We are talking basically about Alexei Navalny, in whose case these judgments are ignored, and we would like to support and help our Hungarian friends during the presidency to move forward with their presidency agenda and this issue among other issues. Presidency was one of the topics that we discussed. Then we also talked about the centenary that both of us are celebrating this year. I'm talking about the centenary of mutual recognition, and the establishment of diplomatic relations, and 30th anniversary since the re-establishment or restoration of the diplomatic relations. We agreed that as pandemic ends in summer, we would like to properly celebrate these anniversaries. And as far as bilateral cooperation is concerned, Hungary is our biggest regional economic partner. We have a very close political dialogue, cultural ties. Of course, our contacts have diminished due to COVID-19. Our tourists are not traveling to Hungary and vice versa, but I'm absolutely certain that as soon as we return to normal, the traveling and people-to-people contacts will resume as normal, as will the political contacts. And I also briefed my Hungarian colleague that in the second half of 2022 we are ready in this. We thank them for agreeing to take on the coordination of the air policing mission over the Baltics in the second half of 2022, and indeed we feel the support and the commitment of Hungary to the security of the Baltic countries. And there are other issues that we discussed, but I would not like to talk about those unless my colleague would like to explain or start himself by touching upon those issues. Nevertheless, would like to once again underline that security cooperation is very important for us. We're of course member states of the European Union. We will naturally discuss also the European Union agenda. Our two countries are currently very seriously considering what should be the future steps with regard to, in our opinion, unfair mobility regulation. We are looking for the ways to appeal against the current version of the regulation. We also talked about migration. We agreed that migration should be balanced. So in this regard, we share a similar position, and we are absolutely against automatic quotas, as they are called in our jargon. So this is what we insist on. And Péter actually visited us in January this year on a bilateral visit, and we compared our notes on a number of issues. Back then we talked about our membership in United Nations, or our cooperation in NATO, OECD, Eastern Partnership, Russia, Ukraine, minority rights. I think I've run out of all the issues that we touched, and I should give the opportunity to my colleague to comment on our meeting as well. Thank you very much. And now the floor is given to the Hungarian Minister. Please, the floor is yours.
Dear Minister, dear Edgars, thank you very much
for this very friendly hospitality which has been extended to us during our visit to Riga. We can now commemorate the 100th anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relations and the 30th anniversary of the re-establishment of those. There has always been a reciprocal solidarity and sympathy between the nations of ours, because both of our nations have fought a lot for its freedom and sovereignty. And 3 decades ago, we were able to regain our solidarity and liberty, our sovereignty and liberty. So because of the pandemic, obviously the significance of international cooperation has been increasing. And when it comes to the friendly cooperation between Latvia and Hungary, we never had to complain. We have been helping each other as much as we can. We help the citizens of each other by issuing visas for the citizens of each other on 17 places of the world. And we consider further opportunities for collocating our representations all around. As Edgars has mentioned, we have discussed some major challenges faced by the European Union. And I can say that in the most important issues, we represent a similar kind of approach, especially when it comes to enlargement of the European Union. We are both very supportive to that. We have to make up somehow the loss which we suffered through Brexit, and we need new member states to strengthen the European Union in order to start to increase the weight of European Union politically and economically as well when it comes to the global developments. We are both supportive to the Eastern Partnership Program. It is an interest of political and economic and security nature as well to have a close cooperation with our eastern neighborhood. And we are both against illegal migration, as Edgars has put it forward very clearly. We both reject the obligatory quotas, and Hungary will continue to go against the very pro-migration policy of Brussels. We represent a very strong anti-migration policy, and we made it very clear that we will never support the system of obligatory quotas. Now, since we share membership in NATO, security of the Baltics is very important for us. That's why Hungary was proud to take the role of the lead nation already twice regarding the Baltic air policing mission, ensuring the security of the airspace of the Baltic countries. Next year, our pilots are returning. So from September till December next year, Hungary will be the lead nation of the Baltic air policing mission. And in 2025, we will come again. It's good news that Latvia decided to join the NATO mission in Kosovo. And it is remarkable, especially that it takes place during the time when Hungary takes over the commander's position. So from now on, there will be a joint Latvian-Hungarian effort to give more stability to the Western Balkans, which is very important for us. And I would like to publicly announce here as well that Hungary supports the candidature of Latvia to become a non-permanent member of the Security Council of the United Nations through the period 2026-2027. We are definitely interested in upgrading the infrastructural links in the north to south direction in this part of Europe. We are happy to understand that you are preparing the construction of your high-speed railway network through the Baltics. We have been doing it with the Visegrad countries as well. So these two lines do have the hope to be connected in Warsaw. And then in the foreseeable future, a high-speed railroad connection could be ensured between the northern point of the Baltics and the most southern part of Visegrad, and that would be a very positive development. When it comes to the safe supply of energy, We're proud to say that a Hungarian company is playing a big part in the ICT-related development of the Latvian energy companies. And this very company takes place an important role in harmonizing the energy transmission systems here in the Baltics. So this shows very clearly that Central Europe, the Visegrad group, and the Baltics have joint interests, and we are both ready to take the mutual benefits out of these joint interests, and we are ready to work towards the realization of these joint interests. Last, I'd like to share that we have good news regarding economy as well. The biggest Hungarian pharmaceutical company, Richter, is playing an increasing role on your market, and on certain parts of the pharmaceutical sector, this company became a market leader already, which helps the economic contacts to be further enhanced between the two countries. Dear Minister, my dear friend Edgars, thank you so much for hosting me, and thank you so much for giving me the chance to exchange our views on the most important challenges ahead of Europe for the future.
Liels paldies, Ministra kungs. Mēs tagad varam pāriet pie
Thank you, dear Minister. We can now open the floor for questions. If you have a question, please indicate to whom you would like to address the question and the media you represent. It seems that everything has been so clear and obvious, and there are no questions from the journalists. So thank you all for the participation in the press conference. This concludes our press conference. Thank you all.